Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea with Tommy D. This week we are going to continue our series from our friends at Yunnan Sourcing. We are going to do an Lao Mountain Jade Needle White Tea. And hopefully I didn't butcher that. But this is a pure white tea from Yunnan Sourcing. If you haven't seen the other episodes, we briefly mentioned white tea on one of our earlier episodes. White tea essentially is when they pick the tea leaves, they pick the youngest of the tea leaves and it is not oxidized. So once the tea leaves are picked, they right away apply heat to stop the oxidation, which is why you will see the little leaves are going to be very light in color as opposed to like a black tea or an oolong. So white tea tends to be a little more of like a smooth, silky flavor with, it can be hints of sometimes with like honey, and then sometimes it can also be balanced with like, so there's like a hint of sweetness, and then other times there will be a little bit of like earthiness or floralness to it. So we're going to find out how this one is. So this one, I can smell a little bit of sweetness, almost like a sugar cane, and then also a bit of like a wheatgrass, kind of like an earthy wheatgrass scent. So these ones, they're very, very thin needles. This one, out of all the white teas I've tried, this one I've never seen anyone with these tight little wound needles in it, so it's actually kind of hard to scoop. So for this one, I am going to do about 3 teaspoons, but I'm doing kind of heaping teaspoons because it's very hard to scoop the tea into it. Just get a little bit more, because again, that's just... Alright, so we got our 3 teaspoons of our silver white tea. Now this one is from, I wrote it down because it was a little tough for me to say. The reason why it's called Lao Mountain is because it is from, I guess there's the certain farms. They'll name the teas after the farm it comes from. So this came from the Lao Range in the Jingdong County in China. So we can see the nice, very tightly wound. This one definitely earns the name needle white because they are very, very tightly wound leaves. And again, it has a little bit of sweetness to the scent and a little bit of earthiness to it. White tea is also, it tends to be a little bit lower in caffeine, and it is said to be good, again, once again, not a doctor, but it's supposed to be good for dental health, and it's also supposed to be good with anti-aging, apparently. The properties are supposed to help with wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be good for the skin. So I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but that's just what it's supposed to do. Actually, I think I saw it on like WebMD or something. There's a few things in there that could be legit, but do your own research. And don't listen to some guy on the internet. So this one smells a little bit, actually a little bit more earthy than usual white teas that I've had. So we are going to do a 3 teaspoons I did. We are going to do white teas. Remember, white teas can burn and you can oversteep them. So we're going to do a 175 steep time, and we're going to steep it for 2 minutes. Alright, so let's steep this tea. As always, to get our 175 water temperature, again, my ice cubes are a little big, but I'm going to take 2 ice cubes. I'm going to pour my boiling water over it, get that water down to about 175. Get these. Let's put the ice cubes in the water as opposed to this. Alright, tea leaves are going to go on my strainer. Alright, we're going to see these really open up for sure when we, after the steep process. They're crinkling. It's a going down. Alright, so got our 3 teaspoons, 175. We are going to let that sit for 2 minutes. So after 4th of July weekend, I think I have officially realized that I'm getting a little bit over fireworks. I've kind of become like a crotchety old man. Like once they start, I'm just like, ugh, this is going to leave a mess. Gonna have to pick things out of my yard. like, I'll agree that, like, professional fireworks are very fun and exciting. They'll do, like, music behind it. They'll do, like, shapes, and sometimes I've seen one where it's, like, a big American flag in the sky, and it's amazing. But backyard fireworks are kind of like if you were to go to a party and all someone had to offer you to drink was, like, their backyard, their bathtub, like, hooch. You know, the backyard fireworks are the equivalent of someone bringing a guitar to a party and playing Wonderwall. Like, I didn't really ask for this. And I know 4th of July, it's kind of assumed it's going to happen. But I think what really ruined the fireworks for me this year was the fact that they've been shooting them off since April. It's not enjoyable. It ruins 4th of July. If you're going to shoot off fireworks every night of the week for 2 months, it's not fun. It's kind of like how you want it to snow on Christmas. We want snow on Christmas. Before Christmas and after Christmas, we don't want snow. That's just a nuisance. It gets in the way. It's annoying. And, like, the other thing that's crazy is because they were shooting fireworks in April, we know that during shelter-in-place, you can't buy fireworks in New York, which means when people were supposed to be staying at home, not only did they leave their houses, they left the state. They went out to, like, Pennsylvania, they bought a ton of fireworks and left a nice tip in the form of COVID-19, probably. So, like, there's... that's over. I don't understand the laws either. Anyway, well, that is how it goes. So we can see that it is much lighter than like a black tea or an oolong. However, I will say it has a pale yellow to it, very soft looking. It does almost have a little bit of greenness to it. This one, this white tea might be a little darker than other ones. I smell a lot more of the wheatgrass too right now. And then just at the end, a little bit of that sweetness. It almost has like almost like a fresh, with the wheatgrass, almost like a fresh baked kind of bread of some sort. I don't know, it's very, very interesting. I forgot my little tray, so I'm just gonna, boom. I did spill, as usual. All right, so we have, yeah, you can see these leaves definitely opened up much, much more. Very, very cool looking. You could see how twisted they were. They hand twist them super, super tight. So now, almost like how like pasta will expand. Like once the water goes, it just like really expands out a bit. It smells really good too after the steep process. Again, it has like this almost like fresh bread like aroma to it. So we went over the color. Let's smell the brew. Let's taste it. So remember, we smell. Definitely wheatgrass in the beginning. It's very good. It's much more kind of earthy than other white teas I've had. It almost has some similar properties to a green tea, which kind of makes me think whatever they do when they do the drying process, maybe they do something a little similar to it, but not like all the way. I don't know, just there's different drying processes. Like again, with the green tea, they're steamed and pan-fired, but there's also like sometimes they use the sun. There's other types where they'll use like wood burn, like a wood fire to dry the tea leaves. So the way they dry it can really affect the flavor. I do taste a little bit of that sweetness too. It's almost like at first you get the wheatgrass. It's like wheat, then it gets sweeter, and then it'll linger a little bit more from that. And the body is a little bit more than a typical white tea than I've had before. Like I said, there are different types. Some of them are a little bolder, some of them are a little lighter. But this is definitely more of the, this one aligns more with the subtle nuances of tea drinking. Because it doesn't have all those different flavors in there. It's not bold like a black tea. But very smooth. It does have that smooth silkiness to it like most white teas have. But this one definitely has more of the wheatgrass and like that earthiness to it. Yeah, darker in color, darker and a little bit heavier in the body. Alright, well, I'm definitely going to keep drinking this because it is really delicious. I can almost not even put it down. So, once again, let me just say thanks to everyone who's been watching the show. If anyone is interested, I was a guest on the Adult Babies show. So if you want to hear myself and 3 other hilarious knuckleheads, I don't know, that's the best way to describe them. They were a blast. I had a really good time. So check out the Adult Babies show. Either the episode with me or all the other episodes. We talked about some tea on it too. I did the blackberry mojito, but I did it iced for the boys. So until next time, keep drinking tea. Stop shooting off fireworks. We'll see you next time.